happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
It is mid-May. Things are starting to move a little bit in the NFL. We got some answers, and we can start planning redraft thoughts. We can adjust dynasty records because the NFL schedule came out last week. I'm sure you, like me, were not watching the TV at 8 o'clock for the NFL schedule release party.
I could care less about this guy. I haven't even paid one bit of attention to who's playing who. That does nothing for me.
I haven't went into it yet, but I heard it was coming. I saw when and where my Dolphins are playing, which, well, they're not really playing next year. But I think it's something that you can start if you're looking deep into Dynasty and you're trying to fill some of those holes. You now know when you're going to have weeks where you're like, oh, crud, I have 3 really, really good Dynasty, say, quarterbacks. And you plan them to sit, and this is where Dynasty gets hard because some years you'll have a stable of guys, and all of a sudden, for some weird reason, they'll have a week 9 bye or something just silly like that as you're going.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to buys in like 4 years. So,
and that would answer a lot of questions.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to buys one bit.
I don't take them into effect, but I realize that I need to. That they have a huge effect, and this year, you will have some buys that will affect you. Actually, one of the Dallas Cowboys, who I'm sure usually you're a guy that likes to get some CD if you can in redraft. Dallas Cowboys and the Cardinals have the worst buy for fantasy owners, known as Week 14. So if you're trying to get into the playoffs and you made a Dak CD stack for some reason, because CD was nice and early and Dak was late, it's a decent stack to have, you're in big trouble. If you have Cardinals, don't worry about it because you're probably not going to the playoffs anyway. So I was looking to see who those last 2 teams were. But prior to that...
Now that you say that, I probably won't draft any Cowboys. It's pointless.
Yeah, now you're looking at buys. Look at you.
I mean, I'm not looking. I mean, if somebody tells me, but if other than that, I would have drafted CeeDee Lamb and I would even paid a bit of attention to it.
Yeah, I think it's if you draft him, you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to make sure that I don't have to win that last week because the week prior to that, you're worried about your Ravens. Week 13, it's Ravens, Colts, Raiders, Jets. So you'll have some young Jets. Your dynasty is probably building, or you're stuck with Breece Hall like I am in the league, or Garrett Wilson, Raiders. So it's interesting, something that you can look at as you're moving ahead into the league. A handful of teams, I know, Miami, the Jets. Oh, gosh, I saw the teams. Do not have a single primetime game. And that's a new thing this year because in the last couple of years, they were making sure that everybody got some sort of it was the Jets, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Titans, and the Cardinals do not have a single primetime game this year, which is a zag. I guess they're tired of the Thursday night game not getting anybody to watch when you have like a Jets-Dolphins rivalry. So outside of those 2 markets, nobody watched that crappy game. So it looks like they're gonna be back where they are, reflecting teams that are looking like they're trying to win. Of those 4 teams, Jets, Raiders, Dolphins, Titans, Cardinals, is there one team that you think is moving in a better direction than the other that maybe a mid-season game as they're starting to get their feet under them would be? If you had to pick one of those teams that you think maybe they might be a little better than apparently the NFL brass thinks. Jets, Raiders, Dolphins, Titans, Cardinals.
I think the Titans will be all right. I mean, they got a nice young quarterback, got a receiver. I think their running game will be okay. I'm not really sure about their defense. I don't know, but I picked the Titans. I think the Titans will be better than all 4 of those teams.
Yeah, I think that was my answer. Is they'd be an interesting team to watch because the way Cam Ward ended, they drafted Tate. They got 2 little slot guys, and maybe they can run. But just see where they could go if you're looking for a game with some scoring. I mean, Cardinals' early season might not be bad because their defense is terrible, meaning they're going to have to throw the rock. And Brissett was slinging the rock, and you got Jeremiah Love. Why wouldn't you put your new number 3 overall draft pick guy on TV? So that might be more shocking of the 5 is that they're not putting Jeremiah Love on TV. Titans is who I think will be better of the five groups here, but or even Fernando Mendoza, like not giving Mendoza, put the Raiders on late in the season, but the Raiders might. Do you think the Raiders did that to themselves? If Mendoza was said, if there wasn't Kirk Cousins and Mendoza was starting all year, might they get a game?
I mean, maybe, but I don't think the Raiders are really worried about a primetime game at this point. I don't think it really matters. So I mean, they're not getting any more money if they're on a primetime game, are they?
I don't think so.
I mean, they're still going to fill up. They're still going to fill up the stadium, whether it's a Sunday at 4 or 1, as opposed to a Monday night game. So I don't think it
And
really. I don't think it really matters to them. I
yeah,
mean,
the interesting thing is,
they might have given them a game if they've started them, I guess, but they're going to suck either way.
yeah. There's a very good chance that the other interesting thing. I mean, in that on the Raiders team, you got even more than Jeremiah Love. You got the number one overall this year, and what was 6, 7, 8, 9, wherever they drafted Genty last year. It was like an interesting one. But on something that doesn't really affect us in fantasy unless you play DFS really or Super Playoffs, Disney has the Super Bowl next year for all intents and purposes. ESPN, ABC. I was looking at our goal prior that the Manning cast is probably going to be playing as part of it. I had too much pulled up. There's going to be a Disney cast. So if you want to get your kids into football, an animated, family friendly all cast featuring Disney characters, kind of like have you ever seen one of these things where they turn the football players into characters?
Yes, I said it was it last year, or the year before? I seen one of them. I don't know which one.
They've done a couple, and my kids watched one a few years ago, and they thought it was intriguing. It'd be a sale one, so maybe one of those like fun things to have. Like I got multiple TVs in the living room. Maybe I'll put that on just for the hilariousness to see it. But yeah, Disney has the Super Bowl now. Instead of news that does affect us in fantasy, we now have someone officially throwing to Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, and crew up in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers signed a 1 year, up to $25 million deal. Two-part question. One, is it the right decision for the Steelers when you look at them? Because are they a Super Bowl team? Two, what does this do for fantasy per se for Aaron Rodgers? I mean, obviously the pass catchers, it can't be worse than having it can't be worse than Aaron Rodgers or those other guys that were there. But what does it do for him? Where does he float?
Yeah, I don't really think it matters for Pittsburgh because I don't think they're really a contender at all. I mean, I think their team's kind of trash, but their receivers are average at best. And I feel like running backs are below average. Aaron Rodgers is trending to below average. So I just would probably stay away from all things Pittsburgh, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I don't see them as a contender, which is why it's kind of an interesting thing. But they also signed Michael or traded for Michael Pittman in the offseason, still have DK Metcalf. And as the running backs, the running backs could be an okay unit. I don't think they're going to be a fantasy unit, but I mean, Dowdle and Warren, they could put together a good enough unit, I think, to keep their head above water as a team. But I don't know if it's a well that's going to help them. Aaron Rodgers, in and of himself, is he a quarterback 3?
I mean, he's a quarterback.
Where would like in fantasy? So I mean, basically, I got a team where my quarterback 2 is Darnold, and I got Josh Allen. So my quarterback 2 is Darnold and Rodgers right now. Which one of those guys is better, or where do you? I mean, I think they're very similar, to be honest. But
I mean, I would
probably put Darnold slightly
probably
low.
start Darnold over Rodgers. I think the weapons are better in Seattle. I think Seattle's just a better team. So I mean, Aaron Rodgers didn't really impress me much last year. So I mean, he's only a year older. Probably not. The team didn't get any better. They added Pittman, but I don't know how much better that's going to make them. But I would probably, yeah, I think I would probably go Darnold.
Do you, consensus ADP for Rodgers right now is QB 30, so it's just got to adjust. Something we can't really talk about yet because with him just signing last night, I'm sure it's going to move him up. I mean, he's probably what?
Is it?
of the 30
I
quarterbacks,
mean, was there any doubt Aaron Rodgers was going to play for Pittsburgh anyway?
some people actually doubted it. Some people thought that Aaron Rodgers was not going to. I mean,
Well,
let's say you're in.
there's always going to be people that doubt it. I mean, there's always
Yeah.
going to be people that say, but at the end of the day, I didn't really think there was much of a chance that he didn't play because I feel like,
That's,
I mean, honestly, Pittsburgh knew whether I think they knew whether or not Rodgers was coming back way before this.
oh, it looks like the
I
fantasy pros. I haven't done mine yet. They have him at quarterback 33.
Yeah, I mean,
Literally, Tua's above him.
yeah, I probably yeah. I feel like
Shador,
Tua. I mean, if Tua's going to start, I feel like they're probably the same quarterback. I mean, it doesn't really.
Gino.
Yeah, Gino and Aaron Rodgers probably about. I mean, I would rather have Aaron Rodgers than Gino because I think Gino's trash. But
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's probably. I think that's the right. That's the right area for Rodgers. I don't know why Pittsburgh is bowing down to this guy. I would have moved on.
I don't know. They want. It seems like it's almost a butts and seats kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean,
Because they got to know if they're bad and they decide they want to see what they got in Drew Aller, that Aaron Rodgers will walk away. They got to basically Joe Flacco him, right, and cut
yeah,
him.
Rodgers ain't going to sit.
Yeah,
I mean, technically,
yeah.
nor should he. I mean, the Steelers brought him back
Mhm.
to be their starting quarterback, and I'm sure Rodgers is like, look, if I come back, I'm playing the whole year. There is no benching me, and the Steelers are probably like, okay. I mean, this might be Rodgers' last year. They're not.
No, listen.
He would have to be absolutely dreadful, and for them to bench him. So I don't think he's going to be dreadful. I think he's just going to be run of the mill average. Pittsburgh finish 8-8 like they always do.
Well, and the thing is, they'll have a combination now. They're coached by one of the last Cowboys coaches. So McCarthy will bring some of that Cowboys mid-level thing. They'll fall below, like the Steelers don't go below them and go below the line. The Cowboys did. So I, I just don't get the signing. Luckily, I don't know. I get the signing, but don't. But I still I'm trying to weigh where I would have him. Like quarterback 33 just seems. I don't think Aaron Rodgers. If I had a guy on my team, Shador, Tua. I mean, Tua and Penix both are above Rodgers, which shows where the industry thought he was. I think that'll rise.
I probably wouldn't put Penix above Rodgers.
Yeah, they even have they have Ty Simpson one thing afterwards. Like I think Rodgers would be probably right in the start of QB3, give or take. Right with like I think Daniel Jones is lower than he should be, but we're seeing the injuries. Right about Daniel Jones, Brissett, Mendoza, probably
I
in
don't
that area.
understand the love affair for Daniel Jones at all. I think QB3 is right where Daniel Jones should probably kind of be. I mean, I don't buy into the whole Daniel Jones of last year.
Oh, with where he is,
Especially
he's right where he probably should be. I think if Daniel Jones runs, which he didn't do last year, which is why some people are still in love with him. Like he ran in New York, and that's what gave him value. Got the yards, had that really nice run down the sideline, whatnot. But if he runs, he moves up. If he does what he did last year, they give it to JT, then he's right where he needs to be. But he's probably right there with Rodgers. Probably Jones, Brissett, Mendoza. Brissett's the one who I think could be higher if he does what he did last year. They were so terrible. He had to throw for thousands of yards, and probably didn't
I
get
think
thousands of
there's
yards.
zero chance that Brissett does what he did last year.
Zero.
Zero.
That's
chance.
a pretty high. That's a pretty high likelihood.
Yeah, zero chance.
He had 3,300 yards last year in 14 games, and he didn't play in 4 of those. Yeah, so they counted 14 starts there. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think you're correct because they're going to be so terrible that they've got to play back, right, and see what they got towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
So enough of and Aaron Rodgers goes right into what we're going to talk about today. We zagged what we're going to do this week. We're going to talk about some of our top guys that are guys that we love going into the season, and we're going to push that back to next week when we will have the guys from Alpha Class joining us for our Memorial Day special, talking about their card game, and then talking a little football. And we'll have them highlight some a guy or two they really like as we share some of our top guys over the next couple weeks. Guys that we love. We've done it every year, and I think you were Drake May last year, weren't you?
Yes.
So I believe your guys have been pretty locked in. I'll try to go back and look and see what we got as we go in. But this week we're going to go the opposite. I think both of us are pretty down on Aaron Rodgers. If I didn't have him on my team, the one team, and I just keep him there as a just in case of emergency break glass. We're looking at guys we want nothing to do with. We're looking dynasty rank as well. Guys who, for one reason or another, maybe they burnt us. Maybe we're like they're meh. Maybe the situation they're in just really sucks. They signed into a situation they really peaked. Maybe the industry is just way too high on a dude, but they're guys that if we do have, we would love to sell to get out from under them, but we're also not gonna. We're also avoiding that. Oh yeah, this guy plain old sucks. So we're not going really to the guys like the. Sometimes we like to hit some of the guys that might be the 50th ranked receiver, something like that. We're looking at guys who people might like for some reason or another, but we're like we want nothing to do with them. And we also the other caveat we avoided was we weren't going to go with some old dude. Obviously, people right now, Devontae Adams might be good this year. You might want to sell him to a contender, but also this is probably it. So we're not also necessarily talking about the old guy curve, which if you're not on a winning team and you got old guys, sell them. Get rid of them, give them to someone else. Give that guy that's on the way downturn to someone else as you're rebuilding. As I watched a guy in my one league, Jared, he was on here. He just sold away Christian McCaffrey, who, how many years do you think McCaffrey's going to be 30 this year? Does he play into his mid 30s? Is he like not a Derrick Henry type freak physically, but like such a good athlete that he's going to get hurt 2 out of 5, but do you think he makes it to 35 years old
Sure, I
playing
think
on
he
an NFL
can.
team?
Just the fact that he can be a receiving back. He's such a receiving threat. I mean, he doesn't have to be the workhorse. He would be like the best third down back in the league
Oh my
if he
gosh, yeah.
wanted to, if it got to that point where he wasn't able to carry the load. McCaffrey as a third down back would be absolutely insane.
That 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 would be super awesome. I mean, McCaffrey's 29, Henry's 32, and still rolling. So different body types, but I think they're probably along the same almost career trajectory, but their roles will be different. What if you have McCaffrey and Derrick Henry together in a backfield as they're aging? Derrick Henry is your touchdown vulture. Christian McCaffrey is your receiving back, and then some jag will just get in from 20 to 20 kind of deal.
Yeah, I'd be having.
That'd be pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be pretty stout.
be good for me.
Okay, so we're gonna go through name a couple guys, and I gotta adjust my thing. I changed it over to redraft leagues. Let's go with some dynasty picks here on my looking at fantasy pros as we're going through, and throwing out a guy who um I wrote two guys on there. I think do you like either of them any better than the other? I don't think you do.
I don't like either one of them. So
I'm like, you know, like I was saying, we were trying to throw some guys that we might disagree with, but I'm looking. I'm gonna just throw two guys out that I'm sort of avoiding, even though I have a couple, and that's Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Patrick Mahomes is currently dynasty quarterback 7. Jalen Hurts is dynasty quarterback 9, and they sort of worry me because, well, number one, they're ranked so high. So I think with a lot of these guys, I'm like, do I want that much investor? What's the return I can get on those guys? With Mahomes, I'm looking at him as I think he's a better NFL quarterback than a fantasy quarterback. Like he's going to be, he's still he's still, if not the top, right after the top players in the NFL that can guide his team through a season. But he's thrown to maybe Rasheed Rice if he doesn't do anything stupid. Travis Kelsey's last year. What are they going to bring up for him? Is he going to get stuck in that sort of no man's zone for a bit where he's got to do things himself, which usually leads to more mistakes? And Jalen Hurts is just one of those guys that he ends up putting out scores pretty well because he runs. But as you get older, the running tends to go down. He's 27 currently, but he doesn't throw a whole lot. As he gets older, he has to adapt some, one would think, because I think he falls along a Lamar kind of trajectory, but Lamar seems more, well, his athletics not the word, but I'm worried about Lamar's running, but not as much as I'm worried about like Jalen Hurts. And I think eventually they got to not tush push, which really Jalen Hurts, that will drop him big time if they ever slow that down.
I mean, maybe. I mean, like I said, I've never understood the difference between a quarterback sneak and a tush push. Anyway, I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's still a quarterback sneak. So if they're at the 1 yard line, I don't really see them doing much different. They're probably just still going to QB sneak it. I mean, it's pretty successful. Um, but yeah. I mean, I think for as far as Mahomes goes, Mahomes has always been like that, that's run around like scrambler type to make big plays. And coming off the knee injury, especially this first season, that might not be him. I mean, he's not good. What if he can't run around and make those crazy plays? That changes the whole aspect of his game because defenses aren't really worried about that, and they can kind of just settle in. I think Mahomes would be good, but I don't know if he like the last two seasons he's finished as like the number 11 quarterback. And honestly, that's kind of pretty much where I see Mahomes playing pretty much probably for the rest of his career. I mean, being like, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13 type quarterback. And Jalen Hurts, I don't think Jalen Hurts changes much from what he was last year. I think might be a little better with A.J. Brown gone. Now that because him and A.J. Brown didn't like each other, I don't think. They seem to have like a little spat going on. Maybe that helps Jalen Hurts out a little bit. Maybe he'll enjoy throwing to Devonta Smith more than he threw to AJ Brown. So AJ Brown's still effective when I guess when they wanted him to be. So yeah, I'm kind of probably staying away from both. I've never really been a Jalen Hurts fan, and I've never really liked Pat Mahomes. So yeah, I don't like neither one of these guys.
I think if I have to pick two, I'd stick with Mahomes. Hurts. Uh, he's been a single digit quarterback since 21 3 9 3
Yeah.
2 8 9. Last year was quarterback 9. He did have his highest touchdown total, so maybe I'm incorrect and he's figuring it out. He's still only throwing around 3,000 yards, but his rushing was down. Was his lowest rushing since his rookie year, and he 421 yards and 8 touchdowns. So he's down almost half the touchdowns, which I think if those go away, he's going to continue to drop down. He might be around in a couple years, but we could be talking about him as a quarterback 2 versus a quarterback 1, whereas usually make an argument for Mahomes being a low end quarterback 1, who's usually like that guy that is your like second quarterback in your super flex if you're sneaky enough to get him up in there. So it's a intriguing little duo there. Who's your guy that you were like, nope, done, let's get out of here?
So I think this has kind of been one of your guys. If I'm not correct, right? I'm going to Baker Mayfield. I feel
Yeah.
like you've always been a Baker Mayfield guy. I don't. I think this is not so much Baker Mayfield as much as it is like the team around him. Since he's been in Tampa Bay, he was quarterback 10, quarterback 4, and then last year he was quarterback 12. I think the quarterback 12 is probably a little high for Baker Mayfield right now. You lose Mike Evans. You got to make a Ibuka, but other than that, the receivers are I don't want to say trash, but I mean average at best. The running game, I don't know if the running game is going to be very effective. I don't know if Bucky Irving's going to get back to where he was his rookie year. I think it might. I don't want to say a flash in the pan, but I don't think he's going to be that guy. Then they got a new offensive coordinator. I think that helps. I think that's going to hurt a lot too. The last two coordinators have gone on to be, head coaches, and it's hard to get three consecutive legit, you know, offensive coordinators. So I think that's going to hurt him. I think that's going to hurt him quite a bit too. Like I've never really been a Baker guy. His whole career, he's started in 18, so that's 7 seasons, 8 seasons,
Yeah.
and he's had two top 12, well, more or less 3 top 12 finishes. I mean, which is fine. They've been the last 3 years, but I just think he falls this year. I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be very good.
Yeah, the Buccaneers are in that division where it's the NFC South is sort of up for grabs. It'll be pretty much most people are going to probably pick your boys, right? So it's your boys, the Saints, to win that one. But I think it's the Saints and the Bucks. His problem is, but he's inconsistency has been the problem. His receiving core is everybody thinks Emeka might be the guy. Chris Godwin, did you realize how old that dude is? He's pushing 30 this year.
He's been around a long
31
time.
maybe?
He's been around a
I didn't
long
realize
time.
that happened. I mean, I like the Jalen McMillan, who's going to be healthy all offseason, working with him. And a lot of people are really high now on this Hurst kid, Ted Hurst, the rookie, who they say could be lining up as the starting X. He's not listed as a starter, but he could be lining up because of his size on the outside. the uh, the kickback for me on Baker Mayfield, he's a guy that I'd be intrigued to look at because he is what 31. He's 31 this year, and that's still fairly young for a quarterback. I think he settled in this with the team. They've paid him. He did have a very down year last year, but he got rid of. You were correct. Last year he got that new quarter. He had Liam Cohen the year before it. In 2003, he had Canales with him when he. So everybody's like, "Oh, cool, Baker can play football again." Then Liam Cohen just sent him to the moon. And last year he had Josh Grizzard, and just wasn't a good year. Was it Grizzard's offense? Was it him? In comes Zach Robinson, who's going to run a McShay. He's going to run offense similar to the McShay type offense. So it could be a benefit. We see what McVay's done over McShay, not Todd McShay. McVay has done over in Los Angeles, and if that comes in, along with I hate because I love Bucky the Kenneth Gainwell signing, but I love for Baker the Kenneth Gainwell signing because right there, Baker just got a cheap 400, 500 yards in receiving off of Kenny Gainwell as he showed last year with Aaron Rodgers.
I mean,
And if you get similar to anything,
but Baker's more of a gunslinger. Aaron,
but what if Baker does what he's told to?
Well, not that. No.
Coleman Canales?
That's not how that quarterback. I mean, they do what they're told, but I mean, you don't change your like Aaron Rodgers really isn't a gunslinger anymore. Aaron Rodgers wants to get the ball out as quickly as possible, so he will throw to the running back the second he doesn't figure. He doesn't have anything else. I don't think Baker's there yet. I think Baker's just going to hold, and see if he can get anything. And I think. I don't think Gainwell is going to be nearly what he was last year in Pittsburgh because it's going to be a completely different type of offense. And if you want to go with the McVay type offenses, how many running backs in the McVay offense catches passes? There's not a whole lot. It's not really – he doesn't really use them like that. I mean, he runs them. He doesn't really throw to them. So Gainwell might be okay, but – Baker's a gunslinger. Baker likes to throw it deep. I mean, like you said, he's got Ted Hurst. He's got an outside guy that can go deep. Throw it to him. Mika Ibuka, he's going to throw it to him. I think he's going to throw to receivers first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and then maybe drop it down to a running back.
Yeah, because he's throwing, it looks like about 80 targets to running backs last year. The year before, with Cohen, there were actually less. With Canales, there were about 70. So it's – I think there's still a path to relevancy.
So 70 targets to a running back. Bucky Irving's probably going to get like 30 or 30.
He didn't they threw it to Rachaad White, who has never really shown out. But they brought him in for a reason. Kenny Gainwell, for some reason,
people like Kenny Gainwell because he had one decent year in Pittsburgh. That doesn't make sense to me. He's been
the dude got a lot of money to pay there. They're giving him the ball.
Sure,
as a running back, he got $7 million average salary. So it's a weird. I mean, $9 million that he's going to get guaranteed. So it's $5 million to. He's not going to be.
I don't think $5 million is a lot in the NFL these days. That's like chump change
for running backs. It's gone up this year, but for running back salary,
Tyler Algier got $6-7 million, and he's like a third.
That's the Cardinals. They don't count.
He's a third running back. So with the way the cap is and the amount of money the cap is worth. They'll give $6-7 million to a running back. Sure, why not? I mean, it's not like it's that much anymore.
I was trying to pull up average running back salary, but the thing is not telling me. It's giving me all the top guys. And the top guys are making $1 bajillion. But yeah, so Baker Mayfield's your guy. I threw out Mahomes and Hurts. Let's look at a couple of running backs as we're going in there. I've been talking about your guy a lot recently. Tell him about and why you don't like him. We're gonna agree on this guy.
I don't think there's really much to talk about. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's, Kenneth Walker. I mean, he did so well in the playoffs, right? That the Seattle Seahawks said, "We don't care. We still don't want you, even though our backup running back got hurt." We still don't want you as our starter. So you go ahead and leave Super Bowl MVP. The only reason he had that run is because Charbonnet got hurt. The regular season, all the regular seasons, he doesn't get goal line carries, doesn't get touches inside the 5. Charbonnet was about to take his job. He gets hurt, and he goes on a good playoff run. How many playoff runs have we seen, and where it just doesn't really matter for the regular season? Playoffs are a completely different animal. I think what's Seattle getting rid of him says all you need to know, and the fact that the Chiefs took Emmett Johnson a little later in the draft because I don't even think they know that Kenny Gainwell isn't going to be. He's not a workhorse running back. He never gets more than 20 touches until the playoffs came around. Then he finally started getting 20 touches because they didn't have a choice. They didn't have another running back to give it to, so give it to him so he could go 3 games and not get hurt. But he's not going to go much more than 3 games and not get hurt. 4 or 5 games, and then he gets hurt. I would stay, and I think he's going he's like RB9 and like some. I mean, that's absolutely insane for a running back that gets hurt all the time and doesn't get more than 20. I want my number 9 running back to be like a workhorse style running back, and that is not Kenny Gainwell or Ken Walker.
We need to stop doing so many Kennys beside each other.
Neither one of them. Both of them trash.
You caught my joke. I was gonna be like, "There's too many Kennys here. You're Gainwelling and Walkering." And he was the guy that I wrote about in my Fantasy for his expert league thing this week, and I had quite a discussion in one of my dynasty leagues. A guy did not agree with me at all. He's like, "Dude, I want Kenny Gainwell. He's all about it." I'm like, "No, he's running back 9.
Why? What did he?
I'm trying to see
what
any
has he
reasons.
done in his career other than the good playoff run that would make him like, hey, number 9, like."
Never really got a legit reason. He's just like, you say you want to pass him because you want to trade him because he's not a pass catching running back, but then you got to say who you're trading for. I was like, Garrett Wilson, Rasheed Rice, Breece Hall. I traded for Breece Hall.
So he's not a pass catching running back. He's not a touchdown scoring running back. What the hell is he?
Remember what Collinsworth said about him? We talked about this earlier. He's like, he's not good at blocking. He's not good at catching. He's not really good at running. It's like, wow, Collinsworth, you buried him. But he tried to point out that I said he's not a great pass catching running back. So Quinjon Judkins, who doesn't catch a lot of passes, I was like, well, yeah, the pass catching thing's on top of him just being. If you go, it's great if you go look.
Judkins is going to score touchdowns.
Yeah, and I mean, far be it. Jim Walker will probably have the most rushing touchdowns for the Chiefs, but he'll have the most rushing touchdowns for the Chiefs, whereas the Chiefs don't have as many rushing touchdowns, and they'll probably run out Kareem Hunt just to screw with us.
They don't run the ball anyway. What running back for the Chiefs has been good in the since Mahomes has taken over? Pacheco had a decent year. Kareem Hunt was good for a spell. Hilaire was trash. So garbage. Stay away from all of it.
You know, Kareem Hunt was their last 1,000-yard running back in 2017.
And he was their best running back last year. I mean, they'll probably bring him back this year too because they like the guy. I mean,
I'm sure.
Ken Walker's doo-doo. Sorry.
Yeah, they do this thing if you pull up guys on Fantasy Pros where they like color code their stats and whatnot. Like green means you're like really good for the league. Gray means you're sort of there. And red, he is like red everywhere. Like you're looking at his snap touch percentage. Up until week 12, he was like right teetering at 50. He was 62% week 12. The rest of the year is 50, 40%. Then you go to the playoffs when you got the ball. So it was all about injury. He's a committee back throughout. He steps up. They paid him. And if he is right now, my big selling point there was if he is listed as running back 9 and running back is God in fantasy, dude, trade him. The value for him is never going to be higher. I mean, because there's no way he's better. I mean, James Cook is number 6. There's no way he's getting to there, or Love, or AJ. Well, maybe Hampton's right above him. I think Hampton to the moon this year. A couple of those guys, he's not surpassing those. Chase Brown could surpass him. I think with no competition, he could surpass him. CMC right now is currently, this is Dynasty, 12. He's probably higher redraft. But so in Dynasty, they have below him guys like Henderson. I didn't put him in there because people are hit or miss with him, but I'm with you, dude. I thought I was trying to pull up the highlight. Like that literally was part of my conversation that made somebody not happy today. My guy's going to be kind of short and simple too, because I've been hitting the thing the whole time, and that's Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is a really good running back. Don't get me wrong there. Jonathan Taylor last year was a tale of two seasons. Jonathan Taylor started out just murderer's row. I've said this before. He got people primed and probably situated so high that they had to lose every game and somebody win every game for them to be out of the playoffs. In redraft, Taylor is currently running back 4. In Dynasty, I think he's 8. Let me pull. I'm swapping it back. I believe he's running back 8 currently on he's running back 7 on Fantasy Pros. So we're looking at JT, who still has value. He's in his age 27 season. I think he plays a couple more years, but last year he folded against the really good teams. He didn't play as well. That's what got him down the stretch at the beginning of the year. He played against teams that were not as good. Towards the end of the year, that game that everybody points out over in, was it Spain or Germany, somewhere overseas, he just murdered it. He rode for 200 yards, bajillion yards, but that was the Atlanta Cardinals. Who, side note, if you're doing defenses, get them really late. I think they're going to be really good this year. Sleeper defense. Boo, boo, boo. I hate defenses, but he murdered them. And that, if you look at the stats, the last half of the year, that was his stat line. So at RB7, once again, in a thing where running back is God, you could probably get a young receiver, up and coming receiver, and maybe Judkins, maybe your boy Travion, his guys in there that are going to go this way that aren't playing for the Colts.
Yeah, I don't mind Jonathan Taylor. I kind of like Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor at 4, at 7. I think it's fine. I think he's still going to get a lot of carries. He's going to get all the touchdowns. So I mean, I think he might not be like what he was in the beginning of the season, but I don't think he's going to be nearly what he was at the end of the season either. I mean, you talk about running back 4 or running back 8 or whatever. Like, I mean, who are you going? I mean, after Jonathan Taylor, you're getting into Kenny Walker territory. You're not taking any of them.
But we don't think Kenny Walker's there.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if you want a running back, Jonathan Taylor's going to be like the cutoff point. I mean, of like the workhorse running backs. I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor than Chase Brown.
How about Marion Hampton?
Yeah, absolutely. Hampton has done absolutely nothing. He hasn't.
Brees Hall?
Yeah. Why would I take Brees Hall over Jonathan Taylor?
What about your Travion Henderson love? Would you do a package of Henderson and a receiver to get Jonathan Taylor, or vice versa to get rid of it?
I mean, maybe it depends on the receiver. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's way better than Travion Henderson. Jonathan Taylor's a legit RB1 in my opinion. I mean, we're talking a 300 carry workhorse type running back that's going to score touchdowns. So, you wanted a difference here. I'm completely on the opposite end here. I think Jonathan Taylor is a fine pick at running back.
That's it. Yeah, from what got me week 9 to the end of the year, he was in the 3s for average, and that could be Daniel Jones. So he had the 7. It was 244 yards and 3 touchdowns against Atlanta, but then he had 3.2 yards, 3.6 yards.
His quarterbacks were Phillip Rivers and Riley Leonard. I mean, that's not going to really help anybody. So yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor's safe.
All right, so I'll trade him to you.
I mean,
maybe. We'll go for it.
All right, these last 2 guys, let's get through them. I got a draft at 3. I got to get to somebody's house.
Okay, cool. I will throw out Luther Burden III, who's very hot for everybody. Luther Burden III had that good, looking at it close, it's like 2 games there at the end of the year. Rookie's going into his 2nd year. He is currently wide receiver 20, and he's higher. My argument almost is Rome started out strong, and maybe the Rome that we saw at the start is this year's Rome, but Luther Burden is now basically seen as a wide receiver 2 in the league. I want to get some Luther Burden. I'll be honest here, but he's a guy that I don't want anything to do with, because to get Luther Burden, the cost is just astronomical, and I don't think it pays off when I think Odunze is the better of the 2.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be expensive right now to get Luther Burden. Sure, he's very, very popular. I think wide receiver 2, right around that 20. I think that's a pretty good spot for him. I mean, they get rid of DJ Moore. Remember, Odunze started off really strong, and then he kind of got injured and a bunch of whole other
hurt and died.
But I think Burden's in for. I think he could be on the verge of possibly like top 15. Oh,
you're a high Burden guy.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Burden. I think that offense is only. I think it's only going to get better. I think Caleb Williams only gets better.
If he's the 3rd guy on the team, though. Say
I don't
that
think he's going to be.
Adunze's up
I don't
there.
think he is the third guy on
Loveland,
this
you
team.
think he's what's the order of those three?
I think it's right now. I think it's Rome is number one. Burden's a close. I think Burden's a close second, and then Loveland as the tight end is going to be the third. I don't. Loveland's fine. He'll be a good tight end, but I don't think Loveland is going to be the number two option. I think Luther Burden is going to be the clear number two option, close to probably the number one option by the end of the season.
Oh, intriguing there. Would you a couple guys that are behind Burden? I think this is almost easy. One that I think we'll have to watch. A guy that I think could be hired. It's not. He left my team. So Jalen Waddle. If Jalen Waddle emerges as the number one for Denver, what's his ceiling? Maybe something to talk about later. Is he? Would you rather have him or Burden? Because you could probably trade Burden for Waddle and still get another piece with
I
Waddle.
would take Burden all day. I think Jaden. I do not like Jaden Waddle. I think Jaden Waddle will be fine. I think he'll be okay, but I don't know. I don't just not a fan of Jalen of Waddle. I'm not really sure. I don't know if the Broncos are going to be as good as they were last year. I think they might take a small step back. But yeah, I would much rather have Burden than Waddle.
Then two more guys, and then I'll let you do your last bunch there, and this we'll call it a day. So Burden's 20, Adunze's 25. Do you flop them, or do you move them both up, or do you put Rome like at 15, 16, something like that?
I'd probably move them both up to where they were like, I don't know, 16, 17.
AJ Brown's above him, Devonta Smith's above him, Ladd, Carnell Tate, Rice,
And
Wilson.
Sorry, I don't understand Ladd McConkey. I do not understand. That is,
I can't figure it out.
I do not understand why people still like. I don't get that. I don't even know why he's. Yeah,
Daniel. That's what's Raz's name.
Honestly, I should have put Ladd McConkey on here. That's who I should. I think he's my least favorite person in the NFL.
Wow. I think I'm going to see a theme in him and the next guys you're going. They all have a theme that we'll talk about after
They
the
all
show.
suck.
So what about, here's the guy that's usually mentioned on this show for the last probably 2 years. Neither of us mentioned him. Marvin Harrison Jr. Is he, I mean, he's a guy that you got, you're stuck with, or you're buying super duper cheap. Do you think, I mean, this is.
Yeah, I think I may be out on Marvin Harrison Jr. too. As far as drafting him, I mean, I got a team where he's on. I got a team where he's on my team. I don't want to get rid of him. But if I was drafting right now, I would. I don't think I would draft Marvin Harrison was actually a guy that I was going to put on here, but I like him a little too much to actually put on here. Like if he's on my team, I'm not trading him. I don't know if I would trade for him. I don't think I would. I don't think I would draft him either. But with him on my team, I like him on my team, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. Like, yeah. Okay, share your guys. Your guys are all over the place.
Yeah,
He's got a receiving core.
Yeah, so my guys are the Colts receivers. Alec Pierce, who got the big contract to be the wide receiver one. Somehow, I have no idea why. He hasn't really done anything in the NFL to warrant that. I think he's just boomer bust, like wide receiver 2 type, kind of like Tyler Lockett. I think that's pretty much. I think that's a good comp to where I think Tyler Lockett's better, but I mean that mold of receiver. And then Josh Downs. Josh Downs has been getting a lot of love too. He's going to be the number 2 guy, but I think it's a little much at the moment because Josh Downs really has never done anything either. So that means in turn that Jonathan Taylor is just going to get more touches. So, yay, Jonathan Taylor, and boo Colts receivers. What say you?
Where they are, like Alec Pierce, no, not interested at all. I wrote the wrong guy's name down. Who is the you had the receivers? It's Pierce, Downs. Who am I missing?
Oh, I was just Pearson Downs. I don't care about the other guys.
Okay, Pierce Downs and Tyler Warren's probably in that bunch too.
No, Tyler Warren's he's not a receiver. He's a tight end.
So you don't count him in the receiving bunch?
No, he's a tight end.
Is he their best receiver then?
No,
is he part of the reason?
Tight end.
Who's their best receiver?
Their best wide receiver?
Who has the most yards
Alec
catching?
Pierce is their best wide receiver.
You think
I mean, I think Alec Pierce will have. Well, I don't. As far as if they at the end of the year, who has more catches? I'd probably say one of the receivers probably has more catches than Tyler Warren, but Tyler Warren's still gonna be like a top 5 tight end because it doesn't really take much.
I mean, Alec Pierce had 1,000 yards last year and 6 touchdowns,
Yeah.
and that's with fledgling Pittman there. Josh Downs, I was just looking at him. Josh Downs had a fairly good target rate coming in. You're looking at Tyler Warren's coming in. Tyler Warren last year had 817 yards and 4 touchdowns in his rookie campaign as a tight end. Like I could see all these guys getting 8 to 1,000 yards, like being like where they're ranked. I'm not too awful hesitant by. I mean, Pierce at 32 is Pierce a guy you'd angle as you're happy if he's your wide receiver 30, your wide receiver
No, I don't want him
3.
at all on my
You
team.
want him as a
I
I don't
mean,
want him, but say where would you put it? About a 4? You'd be okay if he's a reserve,
yeah,
like
all
a
right, so
first bench guy.
if he was my like a wide receiver 3, sure, but you're not paying him to be. The Colts aren't paying him to be a wide receiver 3. Why is he a wide receiver 3? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I just don't. I don't think he's a top end wide receiver. I think he's dude. I think he's just a boomer bust, like deep threat type guy that's going to need to average like 20 yards a catch, and that's hard to do.
Say you got to have one of these two guys, and they're the only two guys on the board: Pierce or Lab McConkey.
Oh, Pierce. I think Lad McConkey's the worst player. I hate
Really?
him more than
You're
anybody in
that
the
low.
league.
I think you need to go off on Lab McConkey. Lab McConkey is wide receiver 17.
I wish I would
because
have. I was thinking about Lad McConkey earlier in the week, and then as I was writing them down, I forgot. I do not want any parts of Lad McConkey. 0 parts.
He's basically a poor man's Pierce, or him and Pierce are the same person, but he's got Justin Herbert and Josh McDaniels tied to him in Harbaugh.
Sure.
Does that's why he's so valued high. So you have Lab McConkey. I've got one Lab McConkey. I don't know what to do with him because I bought the team, running the team. Can't drop him.
Drop him in trash can.
can't drop. But yeah, so those two guys, their yards. Lab McConkey had 100 touches. Like my argument, Lab McConkey coming in, he played on a Georgia team and really didn't have as high end. Lab McConkey had more targets than Pierce. But Pierce is going to be. He's got to be the wide receiver one.
They're two totally different types of receivers.
$1 billion.
McConkey should have more targets. I mean, Pierce is like a deep threat that's going to get like 70 catches. McConkey's like an underneath guy that's going to get like 80 catches. I mean, he should have more catches.
I never thought I'd be higher on McConkey than someone. I think McConkey's there. He could end up being the new Keenan Allen because that receiving core is pretty terrible.
Lad McConkey.
Oh no, Keenan Allen's one of my favorites all time. But
then
where he's going to be,
they're not even the same kind of receiver.
I think we'll see because I mean they did sign. They did sign David Njoku. So sorry for all of you Gatson truthers. He's going to lose 6 catches to David Njoku in the offseason. Okay, this is last thing, and then you give us some wisdom. Alec Pierce, floor and ceiling, like ranking per se.
Floor.
He's 32 currently in Dynasty. Oh, yeah. What's the highest he could go? You think?
I don't think he gets to wide receiver. Well, I think he maybe gets to wide receiver 2, like a 20 to 24, maybe. Right. I think that's about it. The floor, I don't know, wide receiver 40. So I mean, between like 25, like I don't think he doesn't.
Isn't that gaggle?
He doesn't excite me.
Yeah, I mean, if he learns to be a possession receiver with what they're paying him, we could be totally wrong, but. I'd rather be wrong and sell him when he's rich than anything else. So give us some words of wisdom as you head in. Are you heading to a rookie draft?
Yeah, so I just did a rookie draft about an hour ago. I finished it. It was my first one, and I realized this is literally the worst draft in the entire world. I wanted nope. I was had
it's bad, isn't it?
And by pick 7, I was like, I'm already out of it. I don't want no parts of it. I ended up taking Makai Lemon. I took Makai Lemon at number 7. Really not too excited. At 7. I wanted Jadarian Price, but Jadarian Price went ahead of Makai Lemon. I wanted Kenyon Sadiq, but he went before it. So I ended up with Makai Lemon. It got to the point where I seen Brock Rexsteiner, Scott Steiner's son, on the board, and I definitely drafted him. So that's how bad.
Who's he playing for?
The Saints.
Really?
Yeah, and he is ripped. This guy.
I thought he was going into wrestling the last time I heard.
Nah, I mean he was an undrafted free agent. The Saints picked him up. This guy looks like it's just like a miniature version of Scott Steiner.
I see it. Yeah,
it's insane. But I've seen that. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely picking this guy on my team.
So odds that he makes the team are what? Slim to none. He's wrestling with the dog in the fall.
Maybe it'd be my favorite tag team.
The new
The
Steiners.
new Steiner brothers. Oh, absolutely.
That'd be
The
interesting.
new
Okay,
Steiner.
give us some wisdom as we go out
Oh,
on our.
that was my wisdom.
No, that was your wisdom. Okay,
This draft is absolutely terrible. I've come to the conclusion.
oh, it's basically like you get like Makai Lemon. You don't feel as pukey. Like you're like, I'm not a big Makai Lemon, but some people are. Like I've seen them go higher.
I'm
You
pretty
get to like
pukey on it.
7.
I'm pretty.
Was it super flex?
Yeah.
Okay, you get to 8, and then it's just like
I
you're
felt like
like
it dropped.
you're,
I felt like it dropped off at 3.
yeah. Well, I think it drops off at 2. To be honest, you get Love, you get Tate, and then you're like injury Tyson Mendoza, who I'm not as high on as consensus. Then Price, I saw Price go 5 in a couple of. I saw Mendoza in a super flex drop to 7 or 8. That's how low they are on him. So it's then you get to that second and third, and people are just you're throwing stuff against the wall and hope it sticks. So,
Yep.
JJ Wang, as always.
As always, trust yourself and trust the process.